What is going on, guys? And today we're going to be breaking down the Lone Druid versus Puck matchup. Lone Druid is one of the most requested heroes on the channel here, so as many videos as I can make from him, I definitely will. I enjoy playing this hero so much, and I do understand the matchups quite well. And one of the best matchups for Lone Druid is Puck. And why is that? One of the reasons why Lone Druid is so strong against Puck is because when he tries to phase shift and orb away, and you get a root, which is pretty much based on luck, essentially, you can definitely disrupt the play. And it's something that Puck can't really get away from unless he gets like a Yule Scepter or any kind of Dispel. Then he could kind of get away from it, but Puck doesn't tend to build in this current meta Yule Scepter and items to get away from the Lone Druid. You can definitely get punished a little bit on the Druid if your bear is pretty far forward. If it's a very good Puck player, you can definitely get punished. There's really no kill threat from the Puck unless you eat every single orb. You are diving towers and creep waves and such and taking a ton of damage. It's a very favorable matchup for you. As the game goes on, you can even buy Orchid on the bear. It depends on how good of a Lone Druid player you are, because it's a lot of micro when you have a lot of items like Phase Boots, Mask of Madness, then you have an Orchid and a bunch of items that you have to collect. Depends how good of a Lone Druid you are to be able to handle all these items, because Puck is a very fast hero. The better they are, the faster their movements are, so you need to be even faster than them to cast the Orchid so you can get a ton of value. Otherwise, you're not going to get much value out of the Orchid. You can easily take the Puck's tower, as Lone Druid is one of the best tower takers in the game. It's very difficult for Puck to really do anything. What Puck can do that Lone Druid can't do very easily is rotate. Lone Druid is very slow at rotations, and it could really cost you a lot to get a rotation done, especially in the early game. So when you have a Lone Druid on your team and he's not rotating, don't flame him. He's definitely doing the correct thing. Now, if he's not farming, then sure, you can flame him, because that's definitely what he has to be doing. Lone Druid is a very greedy mid hero, but definitely the timing for me to even think about a rotation is going to be Mask of Madness, Phase Boots. That's definitely my go timing. Once I have the mid tower down, I could definitely meet up with my team and go take towers around the map, as I can easily do it, and I'm very strong to be able to do that. Now, if you're playing against counter matchups like Necrophos, Huskar, AA, heroes like this where you can easily die once they pop you with their ultimates, or they just counter you in general, because Huskar is a very good hero against Lone Druid, very good against the bear with his disarm. Necrophos has overall always been very good because of his passive, and Reaper Scythe is very annoying for the Lone Druid, especially if he catches you before ultimate form. You're definitely pretty screwed. And AA's ultimate is one of the best tools to deal with the Lone Druid if he can land it on the main Druid so he can't heal off the bear. It's very easy to kill him. You definitely need to be careful on what matchups you are doing. That'll determine whether you can rotate easily or stay in your lane much more and farm jungle. That will definitely determine how active the Lone Druid can be on the map. But usually your timing is pretty much around 12 minutes in my opinion. Depends on good you're farming and what your mid matchup is. You're going to be farming pretty well most of the time on this hero. You could take jungle camps quite easily, as you can tank with the main Druid and have the bear not take any damage at all. That's pretty much before lifesteal. After you have lifesteal on the bear with the Mask of Madness, you really don't care what happens. You're not going to lose any HP on the bear, as he's going to gain it back. And once you hit this timing, there's really not much Puck can do to this hero. He's going to be getting rooted a lot more consistently, as with the Mask of Madness, you get a lot more procs because you have more attack speed, and you can definitely keep him there. And once he orbs, you can always Savage Roar to be able to control him much better, to the point where he cannot activate the orb and get out of the bear's range. That's one of the reasons why this matchup is so difficult for the Puck, as he won't be able to get his abilities off if he's being feared, or if he's being rooted, he's not going to be able to escape as easily. That's why this hero performs very well against this mid matchup. Now, for the Puck, I understand it's very difficult for a Puck to be able to pick up items like Vessel, but you don't necessarily have to. You can get your teammates to buy items like Vessel. You can get Force Staffs, you can get Yule Scepters to kite the bear. There's many different items to make Lone Druid's life very, very difficult, as Lone Druid is not a nullify buyer. You could definitely buy it, it's not a big deal, but it's not an item that you really want to go for, as your toolkit pretty much revolves around items like AC. You can go for the Desolator, you can go for the Gleipnir build, you could go for the Mjolnir build. It honestly depends on what you're trying to achieve on the map and what are your biggest problems. If you're facing an illusion hero, you obviously go for the Mjolnir. If you're lacking a lot of catch, you either go for Basher. You can get a Gleipnir as well. It's going to speed up your farm quite significantly. Make sure you get a lot of procs in the team fights. You're going to be able to do a lot more things around your team fights with your bear having a Gleipnir. You're going to have a lot of control for these very pesky supports that are very difficult to kill, especially when they have Glimmer Capes and abilities to kite you. Nullifier is probably going to be maybe your last item that you're going to pick up, but you'd rather build up your main druid instead of continuing to buy items for the bear, because the bear really hits a point where there's really no other reason to keep building him more, and you'd rather build up your main druid so he's a lot tankier. If the puck plays with his team, he could definitely get some kills onto the lone druid. If he gets a really good silence off and the lone druid can't get his ultimate form off, then he's in a world of pain. It's going to be very difficult for him to be able to fight, especially if he's dream coiled and not able to sustain enough. He's going to be in trouble. So there are some tools where the matchup can definitely sway. Again, it's definitely based on skill. If you have both players at equal skill level on their heroes, it's definitely lone druid favored for sure, but there's always the outplay factor. Dota isn't always about matchups. He could definitely itemize to be able to deal with the lone druid where you're not able to do as many things. Puck can definitely create more chaos around the map more consistently, as once you kill the first bear on the lone druid, he is not going to be fighting with the second bear, as if that bear ends up dying, he's in a lot of trouble because he's practically going to be a creep for the next couple of minutes. He's practically going to be useless. So lone druids definitely don't want to run into that, as you put all the items on the bear and the main druid practically has no items, or at least not enough to be able to farm consistently. You're going to be losing a lot of net worth if you do lose both of your bears. So definitely always have a resummon when you're going to go for a fight, or be close to the resummon at least on a short cooldown, rather than going in with just one bear, getting that bear destroyed, and then you're just practically useless. You're not going to be able to offer your team anything on the fight unless it's the ultra late game and you build some auras on the main druid. Then you could definitely do something, but your main damage is always going to be on the bear. Definitely very difficult matchup for the puck, but if you build some defensive items, it'll be a lot better. Kite the lone druid and start going for the backline, as it isn't your job to deal with the lone druid when it comes to the puck matchup. You don't really do that much to him, and the later it goes, the harder it is for you to kill the lone druid, period, as he's going to be super tanky, super sustainable, and he's going to be ripping your backline apart and your main heroes as well. There's very few heroes in the game that could deal with lone druid, especially in the late game. He's a very, very good hero, especially in the current meta. But I'd like to know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you guys think about this matchup. And if you've played it before, if you're a puck player, definitely give me some tips on how you would deal with a lone druid. What items would you build? As I'm not a puck player, so I don't know the matchup as well from the puck's perspective. I just know that if you build some defensive items, you're going to be able to get away from the druid, you're going to be able to kite him out, and you're going to be able to kill the backline and just ignore him. But in terms of you itemizing to deal with the druid, I'm not really sure what you can go for in terms of you being able to man fight, because at the end of the day, you will probably never be able to man fight the druid unless you are super snowballing, super farmed, and the lone druid is very far behind and can't really do anything. Probably the only way you're going to be getting away with man fighting the bear, and it just has so much HP. I just don't see it happening with any item build practically. Only has to be a situation where the lone druid has like 2 items and you have like 5. That's pretty much the only way, and even then you could still die because of the roots. The roots are so strong, and then you have the fear from Savage Roar. Once you get the Aghanim Scepter, you can dispel, and it's so strong. I definitely don't recommend, if you're a puck player, to play this matchup, period. Play something else. Play a Huskar, play a Necrophos, play heroes of this nature. You can play AA mid and definitely dumpster the druid, as he can't really sustain fast enough through the laning phase to be able to live through the harass from chilling touch from the AA. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this matchup video. It's not as much on the puck's perspective, as I'm not a puck player. If you see a puck, pick a lone druid. You're gonna do just fine. You're gonna dumpster them. You're gonna be able to win the lane. You're gonna be able to rotate, take his towers, while he's not able to do that unless he is bringing his whole team, or both very aggressive supports like Lion or Shadow Shaman, which are always very dangerous for the lone druid to deal with. Unless you have Shard, then you can just dispel and get away from those things, and Shard just isn't as good as it was before. You can always play Rat Bear, where you're just gonna play around the map with your Aghanim Scepter. You're gonna be farming side camps while your bear is taking down towers if they're not paying attention on the map. I will be bringing you guys more lone druid matchup videos, as you guys have been requesting a lot of lone druid gameplay. I will be doing some invoker matchups as well. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. A like would be much appreciated. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.
I need you.